Hello everyone, my name is Xufeng Zhao. I'm glad to present our paper entitled Impact Mixed Sound and Sound Makes an Impact, Sound Guides Representations and Explorations. Studies in unsupervised reinforcement learning show that a pre-trained agent is sample efficient to adapt to downstream tasks, and usually the cost of unsupervised pre-training is thought to be free or cheap to be amortized among future tasks. So this work is set up under the unsupervised reinforcement learning structure. In general, the learning procedure is divided into two stages. The pre-training stage, where no extrinsic reward is accessible for learning, but the agent is incentivized by intrinsic motivations, and the fine-tuning stage for pre-trained agent to adapt to downstream tasks. In most scenarios, a vision-based reinforcement learner requires to learn representations and policy jointly. Though deep neural networks are capable of extracting features from high-dimensional inputs, there's no guarantee of information sufficiency, as samples are collected gradually. Representations can possibly overfit to the trajectories collected by a non-optimal policy because of lacking exploration. Fortunately, latent associations among modalities can help learn representations. Sound is one of the most informative and cheap-to-use modalities in the real world. However, it is less considered in reinforcement learning, especially for scenarios as robotic manipulations. Humans can benefit from multiple sensing cues in terms of both perception and behavior. Multimodalities helps us understand the surroundings, and sometimes we make decisions based on whether the feedback file is our prior assumption. Well, how can we utilize this knowledge to establish an intelligent agent? Intuitively, an active agent who is allowed to explore freely should benefit from multimodal cues in two aspects. First, learning meaningful representations by cross-modal self-supervision, and second, being intrinsically motivated to explore the environment under the unity assumption reflected by the uncertainty of cross-modal predictions. Next, I will introduce the simulation environment, the proposed model architecture, and the experimental findings in the two learning stages, then conclude this work. We developed our environment in 3D World Simulator, where sound is simulated at runtime. It is comprised of an arm and several cubes with different physical properties such as mass and material. The task goal is to push all the cubes outside the red circle. Sound can be switched on for pre-training and off to test the learned representations and policy. Typically, a model-free reinforcement learning architecture contains an encoder phi to extract efficient representations from high-dimensional observations, and a policy network to make decisions with latent states. In the original intrinsic curiosity module, or ICM, the encoder and policy is trained with the loss from a dynamics model. When including sound, we train a visual auditory model to guide the encoder learning and also to encourage the agent to explore states with high cross-model prediction errors. Does sound really help? Yes. An observation in pre-training is that with sound involved, the agent is more active to interact with objects. Compared with the orange baseline, our method has more chances of occasionally pushing the cube out. Results in the fine-tuning stage show that the agent initialized by unsupervised reinforcement learning is way more sample efficient than the one trained from scratch. Either representations and policy initializations helps. Compared to the vision-only baseline, the one with sound as guidance performs even better. Now we conclude this work as follows. First, we develop a robotic manipulation environment in 3D World Simulator. Second, we propose an architecture to utilize sound for pre-training in unsupervised reinforcement learning. Third, experiments found that sound helps both repetition learning and active exploration. As a fair comparison to the vision baseline, our proposed architecture only uses sound in pre-training. However, it is also worthwhile to study robotic control with a fusion of vision and sound. We leave this for future works. Thank you very much for your attention.